Check, check. Yo, what's up, guys? Good morning. How are we doing? Daily live stream, another one. I think we're up to like episode 40 or something. How are we all, guys? Good morning. I hope you all had a good weekend. This thing is stuffed. But, oops, sorry. Fix the cam. I hope you all have been well. I hope your weekend was amazing. Oops. I should really set this up before, shouldn't I? Yeah. Hope your weekend has been amazing. Good to see you all here. Good morning from New Zealand. Da Vinci, good morning, everyone. MK Friends, says John. MK Friends. Simon, what's up, Maddie? Good morning, Maddie. Sammy, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you here. Edward, good morning. Bought my first Medikey number 4 this week. Good to see you, BTC. Iggy Nor, hey man, good to see you, man. Good night from Copenhagen. Good night for Iggy. Early stream. Is it an early stream? 9 a.m. Isn't that what we normally do? 7 p.m. EST. NYC. Good morning from Canada. Good morning from Perth. Good morning from Vancouver. Guys, if any of yous would have tuned in from Australia 2 years ago in NFT land, I would have been like so surprised. I would talk about NFTs, and in Australia, I hadn't met a single person who even knew what the hell I was talking about. So to see people from Australia or even anywhere tune in to a live stream is pretty crazy. But good to have you guys here. I stream later? Says Jessica. Oh, it's daylight savings, isn't it? Isn't that an international thing? In Australia, it's daylight savings, so it's been pushed forward an hour. Wow. Yeah, it's been pushed forward an hour. I thought it was, isn't it international? 1 hour early stream, good for UK. Hey, that works. That works. Well, that's a good thing. Because it was 8 a.m. It's usually 8 a.m. But 2 days ago, Australia pushed forward an hour, so it's actually 9 a.m., which is the usual time I stream, 9 a.m. Oh, right, so it's 6 p.m. It's become 6 p.m. EST. My bad. There you go. There you go. I better put that announcement out, right? 1 hour earlier, not happening in Perth. 4 a.m. here. We do 1 week. We do it 1 week later. There you go. All right. Well, it seems like daylight savings has messed up some people, but anyway, we're here. All right, we're gonna be doing it this time every time. So I guess it's, what is it now? 6 p.m. EST. I'll have to look into how the time zones affect each other. But today, guys, we have a bunch of news to go through. Yeah, Christie's auction to talk about. We got this Toads thing blowing up. What the hell is this Toads thing going on? Cryptodes, if you guys haven't seen. We had a Ringers sale for like 6 mil. Holy shit. And then we had, what else did we have? We had Ripple announce a fund. So yeah, definitely be going through a lot of NFT news. This space is getting super exciting. I know a lot of my friends, my family, they started with just exploring NFTs, but as soon as they felt that bug of profitability or just understanding the mechanisms, even to a small degree, it's kind of consumed their lives, and it's just so fun to watch because I've been so NFT obsessed for 3 to 4 years, right? In my family and my friends, it's been, I just want to speak about it, and now it's just so cool to speak about it because everyone can kind of talk and contribute, and I can contribute to conversation. So it's fun. All right, let's go. Let's share the screen. Guys, I love doing my streams. I look forward to my Monday because my weekend's a lot of fun, yes, but man, I feel like you're all my family, right? In social media, on Twitter, like I've been on YouTube, I've been on all that for like the last 3 years, and so much of my friends or so much of people that bring value to me now exist online that I probably have never met before, or I have never met before. I haven't even seen your faces. Da Vinci's got a Pepe on his face, a Mona Lisa. GT, I've seen GT, but he's got like a GT text on his. I haven't seen your faces, but like I appreciate everyone coming in, tuning into these, right? It helps me learn, and it's just been so much fun. It's been a highlight in my life because I mean it's COVID, everyone's stuck at home, and it's just been so fun to communicate with you guys and be plugged into the NFT space. All right, a $250 million fund for creators, agencies, and marketplaces. So XRP, Ripple has announced a creator fund to, I believe, push more innovation in the NFT space. So a tokenized future that will transform the way people buy, sell, and manage all kinds of assets in a quickly becoming reality. Today, Ripple's creator fund is committing $250 million to enable all creators and their partners to kickstart their participation in this exciting new era. Get support to create and monetize accessible and innovative non-fungible token experiences on XRP Ledger, one of the world's fastest, most sustainable public blockchains. So XRPL is XRP's public blockchain that you can use to mint tokens. And this is at some level going to compete with Ethereum. I know that their fees. So XRP Ripple, right? Ripple has been one of like the top kind of projects in the last 4 to 5 years. And in 2017, there was a big push for Ripple, being this currency that's a lot cheaper to transact than Bitcoin, a lot cheaper and a lot faster. So Ashton Kutcher and a couple of other celebrities and people were behind, started to push Ripple and market Ripple, believing that there is a big, benefit to using Ripple. And then Ripple kind of died down as Bitcoin was obviously the king. What Bitcoin did, everything else followed. So Ripple kind of died down in terms of being a competitor to being an alternative currency. It was also supposed to be something that would be used in banks. I think some banks may be using it. I'm not sure. I don't really follow Ripple. And then sort of had this investigation earlier this year, which the vibe has sort of died down of. I know like there was this somewhere around here, I think there was a big dip, right? So it went from like quite promising to be, it looks like it was kind of moving towards a bull run, and then it dipped a little bit and then kind of went sideways for a while. And now, we're in, wait a second, we're in December. Where was it? Somewhere here there was a dip and it sort of went sideways for a while, but it has come back and it looks promising. I think a lot of the energy behind that news has died down a little bit. But one interesting thing is that they're kind of competing on a blockchain scale. So they're going to, again, allow minting and the creation of NFTs and cryptocurrencies and stuff. So I think that part of it, so smart contract technology, that part of it is going to be interesting. And now, like, one thing about Ripple is that they are mega, mega well funded. It is a market cap of $59 billion. Like, in their treasury, for them to put aside 250 mil is a lot of money, yes, but for them it's quite easy because they have an amazing market cap valuation. That's one of the reasons, one of the benefits of being a 2017 project is, and one of the top 10 2017 projects is, you were an early mover, yes, you were able to kind of grow a large market cap and a large following, and now you can have these funds to compete on these new eras of technology. So that's a pretty cool thing that we're going to have $250 million. Looks like in collaboration with Mintable. We know Mintable is another NFT marketplace. Mint NFT VSA partners. And I'm sure like Ripple has the ability to get more on board. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Ripple is loved by many, hated by many. I'm neutral. I don't care. I'll just be watching it progress and see what happens. One of the world's fastest, most suitable public blockchains with its innate performance advantages, the XRPL powers a seamless development experience for state-of-the-art NFTs. Let's kind of see where this goes. So my full name. Okay, so it's a form. Yeah. Interesting. Other blockchains. This is what I see these as, are signals that everyone is paying attention to the NFT space. It's only going to get bigger. It is only getting bigger every day. Things are blowing up. Celebrities are into it. Recently, I think I saw a tweet with Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, and there was someone else, but they all 3 or 4 of them had a CryptoPunk avatar as their profile pic. So it's just, NFTs are made to be digitally viral. That's what they do, right? So these signaling, crypto projects getting very serious and allocating funds and accelerating their own ecosystems in this sort of space, shows that, you know, we are on that trajectory to reach like mass momentum next year. If not, we kind of are already. Big future for XRP, I think, says CT. GT says is using XRP also, I believe. Flare, I think, is part of it. Possible. Snoop, Jay-Z, Reed, and I don't know who else, says DJ Triforce. Yeah, there was a picture that came out. It was just pretty cool, right? All right. Let's keep going. XRP Ledger, the XRP Ledger scalable sustainable blockchain. We kind of read this. So what else does it say? Why developers choose XRP Ledger? Public and decentralized structure, yes. Streamlined development, high performance, proven reliability, vibrant community, low cost. Low cost, yes. Not really sure about the rest, and we'll probably have to see them all play out. Activate the power of XRP Ledger. XRP seems to have a bright future. I mean, again, they're well funded. They can compete. It's kind of like Engine, right? Engine as well was a very early project. When people thought NFTs, they immediately thought Engine, because Engine was literally the only cryptocurrency for a while where it was kind of encompassing the NFT sector. You know, we had Decentraland, we had the Sandbox, but they were very specific. Decentraland was a virtual world. Engine was supposed to be this NFT marketplace. It is. And that sort of early advantage had them very well funded. Their market cap valuations over $1 billion. And so it allows them to also compete and also be well funded to pivot and kind of spread their wings around different sectors if they need to. So XRP I put in the same category. Let's see what happens. All right, guys. Art Blocks Ringers 109 bought for 2,100 Ethereum, $7 million US. People immediately talking about how this is probably money laundering and all that sort of stuff. $7 million. Holy crap, that is probably one of the biggest art sales that I have seen. One of the biggest art sales that I have seen in the space, right? I know it's not a fake sale because I know the seller, Akira. I've kind of crossed paths with him here and there. He had another sale previously, which I think was in the millions. So big sale happened with Art Blocks. Now let's take a look at Art Blocks. I'm sure you guys by now kind of know what it's about. It's sort of this what do you call it? Like, it's not AI generated, right? It's generative art, right? So you can put a script through the blockchain, and when people mint, the script will output the visual piece that you get. So you don't know what you're going to get. It is completely random, and you can get something rare, but that rarity isn't defined by a person. That rarity is defined by the script that puts out that art piece. So although these look super basic, they are the result of a script that it was all kind of plugged into. Now there's a big demand, there's a big niche that are heavy collectors in generative art. As we've seen the ringers, we've seen squiggles, we've seen the fidenzas. So these sort of generative art projects doing these things, it's very nerdy, and I kind of love it. I haven't looked into it, but I like, you know, I see how it has an appeal. Now, Ringers is one of these, and the one that's sold, you can see the floor price on Ringers is 95 Ethereum. It's a minimum of 300,000 US dollars to get your hands on a Ringer, which there's only 1,000 of, right? So there's like this select collections that have really reached like Hall of Fame status. You got your Ringers, you got your fidenzas, you've also got your squiggles, your chrome squiggles. It is quite interesting. So the one that we saw for sale, let's kind of take a look at that specific one and see what the fuss is about. So let's try and see why it is worth that much, right? And this is new to me. I haven't done this before, but you can immediately see the difference here between these kind of basic ones, the floor ringers, and that one. It looks very complicated. It looks like there was a lot more that went into that one. Kind of looks like this a little bit, right? So what does this have that the others don't? Let's look at properties. It says 1% is white body. So let's click on this and let's kind of take a look at what it means. But there's 520. All right. I think the percentage is for all of Art Blocks. So 1% isn't really a big deal. I think it needs to be less than, so 0.34%, 0.19%. Let's take a look at that one. Let's see what it is here. So 75 ringers out of 1,000 have a peg style bullseye. A peg style bullseye. So let's see, is that this? I think it's this one, right? Yeah, I would say it's this one. So looks like there's only 75 with that. I think even on the tweet, it actually says background white, 1.9%. Wrap orientation balanced, wrap style loop, 1.26%. Let's take more of a look. What else do we have? 1 out of 2. Peg count 37. Right, the number of pegs, the number of actual pegs in this ringer is 37. So again, let's look at this right here. So we have you got your ringers, and then here you've got all of these really rare ones. Peg count 55, peg 45, 44, 30. So it looks like there's only one of each of these. 5 and 6, 42, 41, 37. So there's only 2 ringers that are peg count 37. So these specific ones with this amount of pegs are rare. And then we kind of get more common. So you got 28 and 19. The ones with 19 pegs, there's 14 of them. So again, so that's one easy metric that we can see that defines the scarcity of that specific ringer. So it looks like the amount of pegs this has, the exact amount being 37. There's only 2 of them. So there you go. That defines the scarcity of this specific one. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. You can always learn more. This set, and I'm sure the artist that this was responsible for also has his history. But that's as far as my knowledge goes with generative art projects. Again, I haven't looked into it. I should, but my God, there's just so many projects to look into. I almost need a dedicated team of like 2 to 3 people that will research, analyze, and have meetings with me daily just to come up with strategy, right? So maybe just hire like 2 to 3 people full-time to just full-time research on NFT projects, whether it be gaming, I might actually do that. But knowledge is power, right? The knowledge of this is powerful, because all it needed to have done is be on your radar, and someone should have been like, if you had the opportunity for someone to break it down to you why this is of value, a good 5-10 minutes, then long term, that would mean a lot. So when something's launching, if someone was to bring an opportunity to the table and say, hey, this is why I think this will be big, and you with your experience should be able to vet and analyze that opportunity that's brought on your table. I think that's what matters, and that's why I kind of build these sort of circles around me, or I try to, where I have my Discord community, you got the MetaKey community, I have my close friends that have a WhatsApp group of 8 to 10 people. I've got Metaverse Minds, which is another WhatsApp group with a bunch of different people. I try and find these pockets of people that can bring opportunities to each other, and we can analyze things based on that. But yeah, I think I might get a dedicated set of 2 to 3 people to help me full time. We'll see what happens. All right, so that seems to be the value proposition there. Again, $7 million for art blocks, art piece. I think it makes total sense for me that 2021 is, yes, when we start to hit the millions of dollars. I totally think 2022, 2023 is just going to be the tens of millions of dollars. Yeah, I think it's just going to get real crazy, especially if Ethereum and Bitcoin start to moon a little bit more. Ethereum sitting at 3,000 USD. If next year we start to see 4, 5, 6, 8K USD, then I think things will change. I think we'll start to see a lot more capital move into NFTs. Now, there is also this perception that this cyclic behavior, and this is a really good good little thing we can look at, but there has been this this behavior that Bitcoin has done each time. Open this up, where literally every 4 years, guys, Bitcoin has done this sort of heavy rise. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Yeah, it's done this peak, and then it's kind of fallen off, right? Peak, and then it's fallen off. Now this is a log graph, so it's not, it doesn't exactly show what it looks like. Let me just try and open up coin market Bitcoin. It doesn't show how heavily the Bitcoin chart dips, but if we were to see the full graph, and you can kind of see quite clearly that there's a peak and there's a massive sell-off or a die down, and then there's a peak, and then there's what seems to be this sort of like sideways consolidation, right? Now in the past, if we kind of take out these two peaks, you can see it's done it again. So it's done it previously as well. So this is 2013, it had this peak, it died down. 2017, it did it again. So in between these periods, in the last 3 to 4 times, it's been these 4-year periods. And even before this, there was another peak 4 years ago where I think it touched $200, and then it dipped down again to, you know, $30 or $100 or something. But there's been these peaks and drops, and there's been 4 years in between these almost each time. So here's the 4 in between this and this is 4 years. In between this and this has been also about 4 years. You can see 2017, 2021. In between that and the previous one, it had also been 4 years. So people or traders or analysts look at the Bitcoin chart and they say, hey, every 4 years it seems like there's going to be this thing, and that 4th year is where it kind of touches a peak and then it falls back down, and then there's a massive sort of downturn, sort of sideways momentum, right? And it seems like it's going the same way. Now, I am of the opinion, and this is my opinion, that we are reaching a point of heavy intrinsic value in this space as a whole. Previous to 2017, if you were to come to the Bitcoin and crypto space, there was just ideas that you would have been investing in. There was landing pages of people saying, hey, we're going to use cryptocurrency in this game. Well, that game was like 5 years out for development. It wasn't even close to being out there, right? Hey, we're going to use this cryptocurrency in this country. Hey, we're going to use cryptocurrency in banks. Hey, we're going to use cryptocurrency to monitor, you know, different sectors of the space, right? And these are all ideas. And for ideas to come into fruition, it usually takes 2 to 4 years, right? That's just how it is, guys. It takes 2 to 4 years for strong ideas or development to take a level where the masses can use it, right? So previous to 2019 even, I think there was very little to do in this space. So yes, we did see these peaks and a big die down, but I think predominantly a lot of it was speculative. And now we're reaching a point where, wait a second, Ethereum has literally billions of dollars moving through it. People are using Ethereum as a currency to buy NFTs. Art is stored on Ethereum. And, you know, I'm using Ethereum as an example. There are many more that are doing these. But I think, you know, we're seeing gaming, we're seeing art, we're seeing all sorts of things, virtual worlds. In 4 years time, or even 1 or 2 years time, I think there's going to be so much innovation that there is more stickiness in this space. So I actually think, I'm not sure if it's going to go up or down, but I think this sort of 4-year cycle thing, I'm not sure if we're going to follow it as stringently. I think there's going to be random moments of interest in this space just because what's going on now that wasn't going on previously. I also think Bitcoin isn't going to be as dominant, and that's one of the things we can see with the Bitcoin dominance chart, which is, I'll have to Google it, Bitcoin dominance chart. All time. So the Bitcoin dominance chart, guys, is basically how much percentage of Bitcoin out of, you know, the market cap of the whole crypto industry, how much percentage of that is Bitcoin. So you can see, yes, in the early days, so this is the, you know, the 2015, 2013, 2014, etc. Basically Bitcoin was 99% of the market. This whole space was Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Then came altcoins, and then came Ethereum in 2017, 2018. You can see here 2017 onwards, but here this period was sort of when a lot more altcoins came into the picture. And then there's sort of this growth of the whole industry, and what that's sort of doing is getting, you know, it's lowering Bitcoin dominance. And as Bitcoin dominance happens, it becomes less, then its effect, you know, Bitcoin's rise and its fall and its effect on the whole market will get less controlling, right? So right now, Bitcoin dominance is 42%. So 60% of the market is basically other projects. I think it's just it makes sense to me. It's going to get lower and lower and lower statistically, and looking at charts and stuff. I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but you know, it makes sense to me on terms of looking at the innovation going on. So from sort of the fundamental level, where it's not looking at the charts but looking at what's going on, it makes sense that the dominance will drop, and we're not going to be. I'm personally not worried about these Bitcoin cycles. I think it's an unpopular opinion. I think you see people talking about a bear market in the crypto space and how this NFT thing is going to come to an end. I think we may see that if Bitcoin dips from like 48,000 US dollars, maybe it hits like, you know, 10,000, 5,000 US dollars again. But you know, in my experience, even when Bitcoin went down from 20,000 to 3,000, the NFT space kept moving forward. It kept moving forward. Art was birthed in the Ethereum, art on Ethereum, Super, etc., was birthed when no one was here and we were in a complete bear market. Xcopy was minting his first art pieces when we were in a bear market, and no one was paying attention in the space. So who cares? Who cares if there's a bear market? There's opportunities. When people don't believe in certain spaces, for those that do believe and that have been here and can spot opportunity because they're a bit more experienced, it's a great time. It's an amazing time to pick up stuff. So that the next phase that comes in will be like, holy shit, why was I not here to pick up on that? Well, because you left when you should have been in here, not really following the hype, but looking at what's going on, right? Yeah. So I just want to touch upon that a little bit. We still have a ton of stuff to get through. The Ringer sale, yes. Let's keep going. Now, Christie's finished an auction. A Curio Cards set of 31 was sold. So they say considered to be the oldest artworks on Ethereum. I'm glad they kind of they use some broad general terminology here. Considered to be the oldest artworks on Ethereum. I'm not sure if wait a second, guys. I was supposed to pin the AstroFren giveaway, so I'm not sure if this giveaway has actually ended. Give me 1 second. Oh, ends in a minute. So if you guys are lucky, sorry guys, but there's a link at the top. But if you go there and join the giveaway, you'll win an AstroFren. My bad, forgot to bring this up. Again, we do this every single day. Every single day we give away an NFT. We've been giving away an AstroFren pretty much the last 20 times. Yesterday we actually I think on Friday or Thursday we gave away a meta key. But going forward, guys, we like you guys know, we give away an AstroFren or an NFT every single day. So if you have a minute to click the link that's pinned and hit this and enter the giveaway, good luck. But someone's gonna win it real soon. Let's kind of just hang around and see who wins it. Kind of running out of NFTs to give away, guys. I need to pick up more at around the 0.08 Ethereum mark. Yeah, I'm going to be hunting around to see what sort of NFTs we should be giving out. Let's see who wins this one. If you guys aren't in the Medikey Discord, you should be. It is an awesome place to be, guys. Lately we've been getting so many bots just because of, I guess, the popularity of the Discord. So we've been kicking quite aggressively anyone that's coming and botting. But hey, it's a great place. And as soon as this spits out a winner, I'm going to go through some of the spaces. There we go. Congrats, Demushi. You won an AstroFren. There you go. Congrats to you. Congrats to you. We will be doing this every day, guys. Again, Medikey Discord, guys. We'll go through it a bit later, actually. Go through it a bit later. All right. My bad. I usually do that right at the start. Let's keep going. Now, Christie's, yes, they announced the winner being 393 Ethereum for the set of Curio Cards. Now, I know Curio Cards were actually estimated between 150 and 250 Ethereum, I believe. Or 150 and 300 Ethereum. That was the estimate of what Christie's were expecting these cards to go for. It sold for above that estimate, 393 Ethereum, $1.3 million. Some people were saying, hey, we thought it would hit 1,000 Ethereum or whatever. In our post-War II present sale, marking the first auction with live bidding to be conducted in Ethereum. This was the first ever auction in Christie's, or even in Sotheby's, I think, that was conducted in Ether. So hey, that's a milestone, right? And the cool thing is that the person that ended up picking this up was the co-founder or a co-founder of Ethereum, in quotes. Co-founder. So like maybe that means, we put it in quotes, so maybe that means kind of someone who has contributed to Ethereum, because obviously Ethereum is open source software, or an official co-founder. I'm not exactly sure, right? Pretty cool. He ended up buying it, and hey, that's publicity, right? Thousands of people are learning. This is a good reminder to never enter your seed words. Oh wait, this is something else. That's great. I mean, great milestone. The fact that the first Ethereum NFT, the first Ethereum sort of auction on Christie's or Sotheby's. It's also a great, like in that period of a month or two, there was great redistribution of the holders of Curio Cards. You can see consistently 100 to 200, between 50 to 150 was sold. Here 236. And basically all the sideways actions, as you guys know, is redistribution of from whales to non-whales. So that's great, right? I think it'll have its era. Just happy that those sort of milestones happen, and now there's going to be some mass awareness that Curio Cards were one of the first art experiments on Ethereum. They were also pre-punks. So as that knowledge spreads, you know, it's just one of the many milestones that Curio Cards and many of these 2017 projects are going to hit, and even pre-2017. But yeah, awesome. Curio Cards, okay, they did their thing. Also, there was another auction on Christie's. It was the art block set. So a whole set of art blocks was sold on Christie's. That didn't even hit reserve. That didn't even hit the reserve price. And I think maybe that is lack of marketing on Christie's. Maybe it's lack of understanding of traditional people. Maybe the set was just too complicated to value. Who knows? But it is going to be hit and miss for Christie's for a lot of these things and Sotheby's, because it was still so new for traditional people to give these things value. I think it's going to take a long time until people really assess this space and come in, and traditional collectors that have a lot of wealth start to make sense of this space and put in capital. Yeah, that's what happened there. And Mooncats out of nowhere, I don't know why, it just had this moment over the last couple of days where 160 sold yesterday, or today so far. 68 sold the other day. My Mooncat, my set of Mooncats that I have, I've got about 20 Mooncats that I bought at 1.7 Ethereum. I bought the 2017 minted ones, right? And those are worth 5 Ethereum at the moment. So 4.5 to 5 Ethereum floor on 2017 minted Mooncats. So they're 3x, yeah, 3x my 60 Ethereum or something, right? But it is interesting because for me, you know, I'm always like, okay, this is great. It's a 2017 project. I'm always surprised at the interest and the reasons of this interest that comes in. There's always these waves of volume that come in and push the price up, and then sideways movement. As long as the volume continues every single day, as long as people are buying these every single day, then eventually the price of anything goes up. And you can see how that's true for 2017 projects. It was true for CryptoPunks. It's holding out true for basically any project that could bring in NFT interest for any of many reasons. One of them being historical, other ones being maybe out of utility. So for example, Treeverse, right? Treeverse is a project by Loop where, you know, he launched it and then it got interest, and every single day there was sort of this death of interest for a while. But still, hey, 14, 26, 40 number of sales a day, which is what I'm reading, number 20, 27. Still, people kept buying every single day, and that's the most important thing, that people keep buying every single day. New people keep entering this project and finding it organically. That's probably the most interesting thing and the most important thing. And as long as that happens, then hey, it's just a matter of time until another wave of interest. And you can see recently, I think Luke mentioned that he'll be releasing some information on Treeverse, and then boom, you know, we saw this go from basically 0.8 Ethereum about 3 days ago to now sitting at 1.3 Ethereum. Cool. And as you guys know, I have a pretty big position on Treeverse. I have about 88. I have about 85 parcels or something of Treeverse. I gave away a couple on the early giveaways of this stream. So hey, it pays to be an early member, because if you had won that, then you'd be sitting on like 5k or 5k US. You know what we gave away in MetaKey? We gave away a Genesis Kong. We freaking gave away a Genesis Kong. I didn't even buy a Genesis Kong, and MetaKey ended up giving one away. If you guys are following Kongs, then holy shit, these guys have blown up. Their Genesis Kongs have sold for, look at that, my god. Their Genesis Kongs have sold for recently, you scroll, oh my goodness, 165 Ethereum. Yes, literally yesterday this was 110 Ethereum. 159 Ethereum. Are you kidding me? I was actually gonna buy one or two of these, but 110 Ethereum I think they were yesterday. Floor. Now 160 Ethereum for a Genesis Kong. So you would have, some lucky person won a Genesis Cyber Kong in MetaKey about 3 months ago, and they got 165 or 170 Ethereum. Absolutely crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. That's just insane. My god, the NFT space is amazing. If you're wondering why these pictures have value, well, let me show you some other tokenomics. Because Alex Becker shilled them yesterday on his YouTube. So Alex Becker is probably a really big, I think he is a pretty big Kongs investor. Now, they sold it for 22 Ethereum. Lol, Maddie is speechless. Yes, I am. Damn, you making people rich. Wow. Yeah, Jessica, we're just... NFTs are amazing, right? You can give some away and you don't even know the value of them until they blow up. It is absolutely insane. So Genesis Kongs, guys, give you 10 bananas every single day. And that might sound stupid to you, but basically, a banana coin gecko is worth, let's take a look. ApeSwap. What the hell is ApeSwap? That's the wrong banana. Banana is worth 82 USD. Shit. Such a good project. Man. It's annoying when I knew I was going to buy it, but I didn't pull the trigger and buy it for whatever reason. And I think I put a thread or a tweet out maybe a week ago where if you think something is going to do well, don't wait on it. Like, purchase it if you can. Anyway. So one banana generates you, no, not one banana, one Genesis Kong. So there's a subset of those Kongs that are referred to as Genesis Kongs or categorized as Genesis Kongs. They're worth 82, they give you 10 bananas a day. So owning one of them basically brings you an income of 830 US dollars. The market cap is only 10 mil. Only a $10 million market cap. So if they do big things with the Kongs community, then and banana goes up in value, then suddenly you'll be, if banana goes up to, what the hell am I even saying? Banana. If a banana token goes to 300 US dollars, then you'd be generating 3,000 US dollars a day as long as you hold that Genesis Kong. So holding of the Genesis Kong is an income stream. 820 US dollars a day. What is that? That's like $350,000 per annum you get for just holding the Genesis Kong. Insane. Franksy's like, so they're just making straight up 15 G's a day. No, almost $1,000 a day. But hey, you could make 15 G's a day if yeah, you could make a ton of money if the banana token goes up. So suddenly they're all incentivized to build on this banana token because it brings you a lot of freaking revenue. Frankie said that's just from holding one. Many people have multiple. No, I said some people have 20. Right, I see what you mean. Yeah, some people have 20. Some people have 20 Genesis Kongs, straight up bringing 15K a day. Oh my god, that is insane. Yeah, my bad. This is securities territory, says tuna fish. Yes, and that is important, tuna fish, because in law, in US law or certain laws, certain jurisdictions, what you get when you earn a revenue on your investment, suddenly it may tip it into a security. And if it tips it into a security, then you have to do KYC, you have to do certain parameters before allowing others to invest. You have to get insurance. Certain people in the States can't invest, and that's where things get very, very tricky. So earning revenue on your NFTs, I mean, for a company giving it out, and that's why they probably stay anonymous and decentralized, because if the SEC come after them, well, they can't really do much. It is hard to play with these models when you're public, because if you have an NFT and if your NFT generates people money, that sort of is securities territory, right? US regulations are BS, lol, says William. Yeah, man, I agree with you. Insane AF. Yep, totally agree with you. US regulations and just regulations that are here to protect us are really frustrating for a free economy, right? A free economy is supposed to allow people to do whatever the hell people want to do. And in a place where all these financial structures are freeing people financially, bringing wealth, putting wealth into creative people, I think we should have way more flexibility. So I think there's going to be a pushback on a lot of this law from the space, just because for this space to do well, things need to change. Can't really have legal stuff pushing us down. Anyway, not really going to comment too much because I'm not a lawyer. Let's keep going. I can stay mind boggled for a very long time. This is basically my day. My day spent being like, holy shit, what just happened there? Holy shit, what's going on over there? And basically just spent kind of lost in holy shit limbo. Now, DC Investor, who is a top bloke and always putting out cool stuff, says, I just saw a more sophisticated than average scam. A user sends a message saying they are trying to sell quick, provides a link which looks likely exactly like OpenSea. First thing that pops up if you click on a seemingly cheap item is a fake MetaMask pop-up asking for your seed words. Are you shitting me? And this thing came up and basically it says security check. We just need to confirm it's you to continue. Simply confirm your 12-word phrase. Hell nah. MetaMask. So it's a pop-up that came up. And I guess you don't need the Chrome browser, so it looks like it's your Chrome browser. That is a freaking sneaky scam. I have to say that is a sneaky mother freaking scam. A lot of people would have not seen that coming. Need help, contact MetaMask support. Is literally exactly like MetaMask pop-ups. Guys, literally MetaMask, scammers are the most innovative people in this industry. It's just how it is. You have to be on your toes every single time. And the dead giveaway that something is a scam is that they ask for a 12-word phrase. The moment anyone or anything asks you for a 12-word phrase, whether it's a friend that looks like a friend that's DM'd you that you've seemingly known for a while, just never give that out. Never put out your seed phrase. Yeah, very dodgy. John says Axis is breaking all-time high again. Really? Axis went up 50%. Oh my god, Axis is crushing right now. I think it's like $120 US or something. All right, let's keep going. We have about 5 to 10 minutes before we end this stream. Sorry for everyone tuning in now thinking we're starting now. My bad. We started an hour earlier because it is 9 a.m. in my country, in Australia. So we've daylight savings pushed it forward. I thought it was international, so it seems like in some countries it hasn't moved forward yet. We put out a MetaKey blog post, guys. We put out a MetaKey blog post. Let me go through this later on. We'll push it back right at the back. Cryptodes. A project came out called Cryptodes. Is starting to take Twitter by storm, where suddenly you could buy these toads, which I believe the real value here is that Cryptodes has a Creative Commons sort of license, so its work is in the public domain. Anyone can do whatever the hell they want with the Cryptodes project, right? You can make t-shirts. It's whoever wants to use it, it is yours. So that's quite interesting, and I think that's one of the reasons it's blown up. A lot of people have started talking about it and said, hey, this is how work is going to move into the future, that people are going to put out these non-licensed projects or NFT sets where they make money on the secondary market, and anyone can start to utilize these IPs publicly and freely to build whatever they want and monetize it however they want. So, on Etsy, you can take this today if you own a crypto and put it out there and do whatever that you want with it. That is up to you. Like, you can do that. No one's going to come after you, and that's what they've allowed. So cryptodes have seen some pretty interesting momentum. September 10th, this came out at 1 Ethereum. And this is why as well, guys, I'm not too bothered about missing pre-sales, because there's usually this sideways sort of time that you have to look into things. Yes, you could have got things quite cheap if you were in the pre-sale, but hey, if you missed out at 0.5 Ethereum, but you bought in at 1 Ethereum, right? Would you be concerned? Would you be concerned if your 0.5 or 1 Ethereum is now worth 8 Ethereum? Would it have bothered you? Not as much, right? So for me, pre-sales are kind of overrated. For me, what is more important is kind of waiting pre-sales out, seeing this sideways momentum, and then making a calculated decision with no FOMO in a 48 to 72 hour period whether you should go in on a project or not. I did not buy any cryptos, but you can see how everyone had a window of knowing this project, looking into it. You didn't have to participate in the pre-sale, but and also pre-sales are highly risky. I mean, out of 10 pre-sales these days with NFTs, maybe three of them go on to do well in value long term. So this one's continued to do well as more people have found it and talked about it. But yes, right now the average price is 8 Ethereum. Looks like the floor is 9 Ethereum. A lot of sales happening almost every hour, every 10 minutes. But a 9 ETH floor on these. There are only 7,000 of these, I believe. Yeah, only 7,000 of these. All right, let's keep going. Medikey Edition 4. We'll talk about that a bit later. Habbo Hotel. As you guys know, I took a pretty decent position on Habbo Hotel. I bought a ton of them between 0.65 and 0.75, or I think 0.8 Ethereum. So my average cost was 0.7 Ethereum. I'm pretty bullish on Habbo because look at this. It has, wow, that's quite a lot of sales. Habbo Hotel was the childhood for many people, and I feel like its launch is kind of going through the sideways phase, but you can see there is consistent interest. When there's consistent interest, it's a brand that has 800,000 players currently per month, per day or per month, then I think it's going to do well. So I'm kind of waiting till they reveal the Habbos and what people get, but I'm pretty confident it'll go on to do pretty well. The Crypto Fiend says there was 0.3, 0.6 ETH floor after mint. There you go. Definitely had time to buy some. Habbo is supposed to reveal soon, says Cranksy. Yep, it is supposed to reveal soon. One thing about Habbo is the distribution doesn't look too good. So there's only 3,000. It's about 30% distribution. So there's definitely some whales here. So it's hard for me to invest in a project. I don't know, maybe one person owns like 1,000 of them that might dump at any time. So that's the kind of risk you take when you're investing in a project with a lot of whales in it. CoolCats, another project which you had plenty of time to look into. Look at this. 0.8 Ethereum, right? You had months to get in on this project. It was 0.03 Ethereum for a while, 0.06, 0.12. CoolCats have just gone crazy right now. And that's why I think there's a requirement. This is such a big opportunity. You have a whole 3 to 4 days to a month to go in on a project and really believe its long-term sustainability. So I think like having a good research team is a must, because you should be capitalizing on opportunity during this period. But a great graph that shows consistent volume and interest coming in for CoolCats. Now at 81 sales the other day and a 14 Ethereum floor. It's just going nuts right now. AstroFrens, we ain't even going to talk about AstroFrens. It's still getting interest. I mean, 17, 32, 21. Yep, there's still interest coming. This is an interesting graph because this sort of did the opposite thing where it had high interest and then sort of died down. So what sort of phase are we at the moment? It has already been June, July, August, September. So 2 months since AstroFrens. So it'll be interesting to see what they are going to do with it. But still sitting at a 0.1 ETH floor, which is pretty much floor price. But one thing about AstroFren is it is slowly growing in terms of its price. So it's really up to the team and the community to do something with AstroFriends. I think the community will, they are very focused on doing something. I think one thing that will change the game with pretty much any NFT project is an introduction of a cryptocurrency or a token. But suddenly that gamifies the whole experience, and people are like, holy shit, I need to get myself an AstroFren or a Kong. So I know that these guys are very DeFi NFT developer heavy, so they've got the brains and the ability to do that, the tech savviness. So it'll be interesting to see what that comes out. But I just want to bring up the graph because you can see the difference in graphs sometimes that are taken. XRP, we went through that. Cyberkongs went through that. Banana went through that. Metakey, guys, just a couple of words on Metakey before we end the stream. Is we put out a post here, and I know a bunch of you guys have a Metakey by now. Congratulations. I know the sale went a little bit choppy with the, basically everything crashing within 10 seconds of pressing that launch button. So whoever got some, congratulations. The price right now is 0.35 Ethereum. We haven't put out any marketing on Metakey, so it's pretty much a 0.2 Ethereum at launch. Currently it's sitting at 0.34. The good thing that's happened, and thank God, is the distribution's gotten much better. So I think at launch it was 1,000 people that owned it out of 7,500. Now it's 3,100. There's almost 40 to 45% distribution. The good thing is we also put out a massive blog post, so you can see like what can you do with the Metacademy, and you can see you can actually do a lot. And I'm going to be putting out a post publicly on Twitter and a thread on what you can actually do with the Metakey. But you can do so much. You can actually log into what's called a Metacademy. So if you go to app.themetacademy.com, you can go inside and watch courses. So we got, how to mint NFTs or how to mint straight from the contract. So Vic has done a course on that. I've done a course on different NFT projects. Keigijan has done a course on gaming NFT projects. We have Blackstar has done a course on how to start an Axie scholarship, and we're going to be adding to these courses. So Metacademy is its own standalone product. That is one of the many things you can log into and look into if you have a Metakey. Then we have the DAO, where you can start to vote on things, and based on which Metakey you have different weights to vote on it. And we've got the Shark Tank, which we use to run pitches, and you can see people meeting up, and we do pitches regularly in the Shark Tank where community members can bring to light their projects, their art, whatever they've worked on, and we give grants for that. We're going to bring in people like Whale Shark will be joining us soon for one of these. We're going to have other personalities coming in and helping fund these projects. So we got this Metakey. Does Metakey 4 work with Metacademy? Absolutely, Cranksy. Every Metakey will work with these products, right? We only have the only reason we have Metakeys as batches is just the collectability factor, right? If you want a Metakey 4 because you like the art, you buy a Metakey 4. If you like the Metakey 1 because it's scarcer and it's the first one that ever released, you buy a Metakey 1. The batches are really just artist specific. Every single one of them are integrated into every product we make. You will get all the wearables that we are designing. You will get the avatars we are designing. We get everything, right? So we got this. We have this really cool art by a Dreamworks animator who allowed us to claim the art that he made. So that was very cool by him. And I'm talking to the team to have a community contract so that artists don't have to pay money to mint. They can just give us the art that they'd like to distribute to the key holders, and we can distribute that art as long as the key holders pay, the $10 gas fees to claim them. So this art went out, and now, all our key holders and only key holders were able to get this art piece, which is very, very cool. So we got the community members making art or assets and NFTs and items, and the Metakey team will enable a contract and do all the dev work so that people can come and mint and take that NFT for free, or whatever. Maybe you can sell it, but that's one thing. Another thing you can do, we got our avatars that are coming out. This is a pretty cool avatar drop that we got coming out. These avatars you'll be able to use in 3D in Decentraland, and our games that we got coming in that I haven't talked much about. So our avatar, every single Metakey will be eligible for our avatar drop, and the avatar is for free. For every Metakey holder, it's for free, right? Turn my output up. My bad. My output low. Let me put it up a little. Check. Really? Is it low? I don't want to touch anything here. Let me just put this on max. Okay. Maybe I'll have to talk a little bit closer. These are just one of the many avatars that we have, styles that we have going on. We've got a lot of we've got zombies, obviously. We've got aliens. We've got all sorts of weapons and stuff like that. So the weapons, those avatars are dope. Would be sick if you build a research team if you put your research presentations behind locked doors for Medikey holders. There you go, Jason. Jason, I'm all down to find more ways to put value for Medikey. So yes, we need a in-house research team that we can build and provide these snippets of information for. Maybe we'll do that. Why don't we do that, Medikey team? So I know to Moz, who is my co-founder, and Michael, let's put together a research team that look at NFT projects, every single one of them, and give a detailed report on what's going on. And let's make that only for Medikey holders. All right, let's get that done. I love that, right? You guys tell me what to do for the Medikey fam, and I'm doing it. And as you guys know, we're very well funded. We can literally do anything right now. We kind of experimented that, guys. So a very cool, quick snippet of that is what we did with is this thing, right? So one of the things we played around with is the NFT radar channel. Let me bring this over here because I don't think you guys can see it. Where is the NFT radar channel? NFT radar. We've got NFT strategy, which is where people talk NFTs. NFT radar, right? So here we got Ego, who posts quite frequently about certain projects. So here he's talking about impact theory. He's got date of the pre-sale. He's got description, and he's looking at the bull case for it and then the bear case for it. And NFT radar is something where Ego specifically puts out research reports on projects that he finds interesting. But we maybe we'll get more people to help with Ego and make very specific reports on stats, projects that are hot right now, or projects that might blow up and why they may blow up. So maybe way more frequent stuff by the team, and maybe Ego can lead this, or someone can lead this, where there's a very dedicated research team for the community. And this is what I'm talking about, right? We are looking at ways for making Medikey a whole community dedicated to provide value of different forms. And yes, that is maybe the price of the Medikey going up, but that's one of many things we can do. We can do Shark Tank stuff, we can give avatars, we can give game items, we can do airdrops, we can have information. I think education and information are one of the biggest necessities in this space. Curated information, not just Twitter is just public information, and obviously everything is out there, but curated and specific quality information that goes to your doorstep every single time. I think that's severely needed. That part of it is severely needed. And that's what the Medikey is for, right? The Medikeys are for that. The whole community is for that. And that's why we keep doing more drops, because we want to expand the community, but we don't do more drops until we kind of Hall of Fame the previous Medikeys and make sure that there's enough things there to not drop the price. You can see here we got a 3D modeler who is making these in 3D forms, and you'll be able to use these in our games and upcoming things that we are doing. This is one of the many 3D models. So we're doing games. We'll go through that a little bit later. We've got our DCL HQ. You can see our ship is here. This is the Decentraland HQ that we will be building. You're going to have conferences in here, museums in here. You're going to be able to visit the ship if you have a Medikey, and we'll be doing round tables so we can discuss ideas. Heaps of stuff going on. Heaps of stuff going on. Integrations and metaverse utilities. You can see we're doing a collaboration with Vogu with Medikey, and this is many of the collaborations we're doing, and we'll be giving these wearables to Medikey holders. You'll be getting these for free. Medikey wearables straight to you. We have way more collaborations. Then we got Ethermon. You can see we are building Ethermon game items, or sort of characters that you can only get if you have a Medikey. Then we have skateboards and all sorts of things we are designing with our collaborations in other games. It's all happening, guys. And we haven't been public with a lot of this stuff because it's all been happening in the back scene. And what we're also doing is, if you have a Medikey, then you can claim these free sort of buildings that you can deploy if you have land in Decentraland. So if you have land in Decentraland and you have a Medikey, then you can get these free deployments and these free buildings that you can deploy and customize if you want. You don't have to pay and get like this gallery or do your own sort of setup. You can just get this ready-made thing and set up and do some customizations if you want. And that's another thing, right? And then you can do, we're doing games, right? So we got Meta Arena. What can I do with my meta key a little later? So we got in the works gaming. So we got this sort of game arena where you'll be able to take your meta key in here and the NFTs or your avatars in here and play different games. This is one of different, we're probably going to hire an in-house game studio to build out this game sets. Maybe you'll be able to earn other NFTs. We'll do collaborations, maybe use wearables. And then, yeah, that is some of the many things we're working on. And that's why, yeah, you know, like people have been asking, what can you do with the meta key? And I haven't really put out that much information, but you can do so much, and we have so much in the pipeline. The goal is that that one meta key that you have, any edition 1, 2, 3, or 4, will have utility in hundreds and hundreds of different ways. That's the goal for the meta key. That may take a year, but there will be eventually hundreds of different things you can do with that one meta key. From airdrops to avatars to integrating into watching courses to getting, you know, going into discords, turning into sharks, turning into different items, all that sort of stuff. Cranksy says maybe a partnership with Boss Logic Universe. Everything is possible, right? Everything is possible. So yeah, just the last point I wanted to touch on is this, because we didn't really have a chance to really explain a bunch of this stuff last week. We were just so caught up with the sale and then post sale, and it was all just you know, the meta key sale was the priority. But now we're taking a step back. We're putting out all the stuff we're working on. We're going to be heavily developing all this stuff. We're doubling hires, so everything is happening. All right, guys. Jessica says, I wish I had the ETH. I hope, you know, we priced at 0.2 Ethereum. Hopefully that isn't too expensive for the majority of people. At the end of the day, we want everyone to have a meta key, to be part of whatever we do. At the end of the day, everything we do is, much of it is for free anyway. Like if you go to the Discord, you can go into the MetaKey Discord and everything is for free right now. Like you can go into NFT Radar, you can check out the general chat, the NFT strategy. Much of this is for free. The goal is to have 90% of the stuff that I do basically free, have a 10% exclusive thing for MetaKey holders, for people that want to support my work and the team's work. All right, MetaKey scholarships. Yes, we need to do something like that. MetaKey scholarships. Yep, definitely. MetaKey is making its presence in many P2E games. Yep, it is. We are working with quite a few of them. Is there a time limit on getting one? MetaKey you can buy at any time right now. It is on the secondary market. If you go to OpenSea and you go to MetaKey, then you can see you can buy one. So make sure you go to the Meta Space Key. We need to fix this and make MetaKey the one where make sure you buy it from the verified collection only. We had quite a lot of people getting scammed, and you had to pay $50,000 from my own treasury to reimburse that. But you know, make sure you don't get scammed and you go to the wrong place. And it's good. Slowly the distribution is getting better, and now I think we're ready to publicize a lot of the stuff we're doing. So let's just see how that goes. If you haven't seen the MetaKey, I might as well complete the whole thing. If you haven't seen the MetaKey, make sure you take a look. It is literally the coolest thing I have ever seen. I can watch this on repeat literally all the time. But we're also doing this thing where maybe, and I'm thinking about this, I'm not sure if I've told the team, where MetaKey number 4, 5, and 6 you might need number 4, 5, and 6 to be eligible for something special and something cool. So we might make 4, 5, and 6 a separate collector's edition. Not so much a collector's edition, but this collector gamified model where 4, 5, and 6, if you collect them, then maybe you get a 3D real life version of each one of our characters, physically pushed out to you, right? So we're playing with those sort of mechanics and what that looks like. But yep, awesome guys, that is it. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna fix up the times and make sure that we are starting at the right time. If you are coming in, if you guys are tuning in now, I apologize, but we started 1 hour earlier because of daylight savings in Australia. But thank you for tuning in and being part of the stream. We're going to be doing it this time every single hour. Tomorrow we'll be going through more. I know you guys keep putting out projects for me to check out. I didn't really have time to talk about what you guys have in store just coming off the weekend, but We'll do it tomorrow. So take care, everyone. Jessica, GT, Utan, Da Vinci, Cranksy, John, everyone else. Take care. Have a good day. Tomorrow we'll catch up again and talk more NFTs. Take care.